Back to my days as admin major, I had always been a staunch advocate for employees, both sworn and civilian, to be recognized and compensated for the jobs they were doing and not necessarily for the positions they held. I was extremely aware of people being asked or required to work outside of their class, that was their personnel classification. As such, when employees were asked to take on additional tasks or responsibilities, particularly over a long period of time, we worked closely with the county's personnel division to create temporary positions or provide compensation for these out-of-class activities. An obvious example of this: when a patrol captain, or any division commander for that fact, was assigned to the FBI National Academy for 3 months, the assistant commander, a first lieutenant, would fill in. We argued successfully that while fulfilling the role of station commander, those assistant commanders should be compensated full captain's pay. This always took a bit of paperwork, but we finally got it down to a form memo and became a fairly routine matter to underfill a position. It was the only fair thing to do. If employees were given the responsibility for these duties, then they should be fairly compensated for them. This was also a lesson I had learned when competing for those promotional processes. As J.J. Whalen had reminded me, remember, when you are participating in an in-basket exercise and your captain has been incapacitated or is unavailable, then you are the captain. Delegate, assign, and take action as if you were the captain. That's the rank you're going for. Don't mealy mouth around. I suppose I'd just do it. That's the leadership they're looking for. Once I got that concept in my head, I always applied it, and I did well in the promotional processes from that point forward. So in keeping with all this, a station captain was to be away at the FBI Academy for 3 months, and his lieutenant, a female, was the acting station commander. The paperwork was completed, she was being compensated, and she was being held accountable for that 90-day period. Her commander was on the schedule to be a night duty officer for a couple of days, which conflicted with his FBI Academy assignment. When she realized this, she brought it to the attention of her patrol major under my command, saying, "First lieutenants don't work nighttime duty, but my boss is on the schedule. What should I do?" I replied that she was the boss. She was the acting commander of that district station, and if the captain had an assignment expected of him, and she was covering for him, then she should fulfill that assignment. Everyone was quite surprised, but also pleased with the break of tradition, that I had made the decision to follow through on the concept of fair compensation and responsibility, except the next day the chief read that the overnight duty officer's report had been filed by this first lieutenant. He went ballistic. He stormed into my office demanding to know why a lowly first lieutenant was serving as a nighttime duty officer, a position that was implied only worthy of majors as it used to be when he had filled that position. I calmly explained the acting compensation assignment covering scenarios to him, and he replied, "I don't agree. Don't ever let this happen again." There was no convincing him. He once held that position, and for his money, no one of lesser rank than major could ever properly fulfill that role. Well, today, and I'm writing this part in 2015, that acting commander of that district station and first-time first lieutenant night duty officer is the chief of police of a suburban Virginia town. So go figure. It was during this time as Deputy Chief of Patrol, about 2000, that I saw an announcement that the C&O Canal National Historical Park was looking for volunteer bike patrollers. I inquired, applied, was accepted, and began my volunteer activities for the National Park Service.